Hi everybody, good morning. Just doing the little startup thing there. Okay, so so we're gonna do a couple things today, and people were asking for breakfast ideas, and so we talked about a couple little things yesterday, and we did get my glasses on right. We did a hey Minik, hi, good morning. Yesterday we did a sort of a breakfast muffin with chives and kale and stuff like that, and so that was really fun. And some power balls, pretty much. Something that you can just grab as a snack in the morning that's kind of decadent, but could be breakfasty as well. So I wanted to share a couple different things here. People specifically asked me for things that were more vegan and plant-based. And so I have a couple products here that you can use if you want. But for me, I'm only going to incorporate them into a couple things. So nothing like me being confusing, which I usually always am. The other thing I forgot was we are going to get our chia seeds going here, and I don't know why I always forget water. I should have a little water carafe here. So you need to add a little bit of water to the chia seeds, and so I'm going to do that and just be right back here and grab my water as well. Okay, so the so you just have like 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, and then a couple tablespoons of water, enough to really, what I base it on is if the recipe calls for, hey Darlene, good morning, hi. If the recipe calls for 2 eggs, then I kind of make it like the amount that 2 eggs would be, if you were to, maybe a little less than that if you were to break them open. So this is like, I don't know, 1/8 of a cup with some chia seeds. And so we're just going to let this gel, because the chia seeds will gel. And so the chia seeds have lots of protein in them and all kinds of really great benefits for the chia seeds. Okay, what else we have here? We're gonna show you something first, and then we're gonna get started on the recipe. So these are little pieces of smart bacon. This is it's a plant-based bacon, and it's not too bad, for something that isn't meat or real bacon. It's okay. It's pretty good. What I find is that this Epicure Better Than Bacon is actually more bacony tasting. So for people that are looking for that traditional breakfast, but say you're working with high cholesterol and you're working with different dietary things. Hey Jane, yay, happy to see you here. It's nice to see you. So if you're working with trying to change your lifestyle into a plant-based diet, these are things that are helpful. So I did kind of pre-cook this a bit, and for the little bacony things, and I pre-cooked a few, and they're a handy thing to have. Just gonna grab another one here. Of course, everything's clean hands, clean everything. I pre-cooked these, and you can just also put them in the fridge and keep them for a few days if you wanted to make like a BLT. With the tomatoes coming now for the summer, you could make a BLT sandwich with it or whatever, so you can cook up a few and then just set them aside. The other thing I have here is this. This is an organic non-GMO tofu, and so you can also use a medium tofu if you want to, which is fine. This particular one doesn't say. I was very disappointed. It doesn't say whether it's medium or what it is. But I took a chunk off just to see the consistency, and grab a little spoon here. What kind of spoon do I want? Okay, I'm just going to I'm gonna try not to make a big mess like I usually do. Let's get it on a solid surface so I don't create any more problems than I usually do. And we're gonna stick it in the bowl here. And I am, for the new people that are watching, I am so not a professional cook. I just create, you know, healthy 15-minute fast meals, and I have a lot of YouTube recipes and with 15-minute healthy meals. And so this is my particular way of doing things, and most of the time this Facebook Live is just like an experiment, because it's like stuff we want to try, want to hang out, you know, on you know, every day at 11, and hang out and just explore new foods, new ideas, new products, and just have fun. So what we're going to do with this tofu here, and this is obviously a little bit harder than what I would like. Can you see that okay? Yeah, so I'm just going to press that over. And so if you had a medium, it would squish easier. This one's a little bit harder to squish because it is, which is why I made sure we're doing a hands-on today, for sure. We're doing a lot of using our hands today, so everything is freshly washed. And so we're going to try and break this into the consistency of like scrambled eggs. And obviously, like I said, if you most tofus will be you know, like soft, silky, firm, that kind of thing, or medium. And so since this one didn't say, and this was honestly the only one that wasn't either soft or firm, hard, meaning hard, I bought this one, and it didn't say what it was, and it's I'm guessing it's firm because it didn't say, and it's really hard to break apart. So we're just going to do this with a fork, which normally you wouldn't have to work this hard if you get a medium firmness. So the tofu is like a fermented soybean. Make sure you get it non-GMO. Personally, for myself, I am not a fan of tofu at all. I almost never use it. I don't think I have used tofu in, you know, a few years actually. But since the request, hey Barb, good morning, nice to see you. Since the request was for plant-based breakfast ideas that kind of, for people that want something that looks traditional, and this actually doesn't taste too untraditional either. So you can see that I've broken it up into kind of like a scrambled eggy kind of thing here. And so if you are trying to change your diet, you're trying to get onto a plant-based diet, and you still want the taste of traditional breakfast, yeah, then it's a really great way to kind of transition over. Like I say, I don't use tofu hardly ever, and I don't usually buy the smart bacon or the plant-based bacon, you know, except for a rare occasion when I'm trying to make something, you know, different or special. But these are really handy products. I'm just testing the heat here. I turned it up a little since I already pre-cooked this. I don't want to cook it too much. I just want to show you how to use it. So so you would do this, and you know, you can have your little bacon on the side. Actually, I had a plan here, and sometimes I can't talk and think at the same time. Actually, often. Okay, so I'm just going to dump this on the side. And then what I was going to do is what I will do later. Okay, so so we have this here. I've turned the heat on just a little bit. You really, you know, you really just need to have like the just a little bit of heat on it, you know. I guess it depends on how warm you want things. I'm just going to grab a little more water here just to put it in the, you know, because I don't really want to use any oil. So, okay, so we're just going to give this a little stir and turn this up a little bit and let it get going for a minute. Okay, there was a comment there. Yeah, I know. That was my next thing, Monique. You're reading my mind. The turmeric's right here, and it will make it look more like scrambled eggs. But I was waiting for it to heat up first and then turn it down. So, and I missed another comment that you had. I don't know, it was quite a long comment, and I kind of saw it, and now it's gone through the thing. If I don't see it right when it happens, it's like the little comment thing just ding, it just disappears. So I don't know what you said, but I'll answer it later. I'm always happy to have comments and questions and stuff. So yeah, so we're going to get this going a little. Just like to get it a little bit hot. But seeing as how you already blew the surprise, I'm gonna add the turmeric now because it is definitely beneficial. The turmeric has the curcumin in it. It's anti-inflammatory. And has so many health benefits. Most people already know about turmeric and are taking it, but it does have a little bit of a bitter quality to it, so you don't want to add too much, just enough to make these a little bit more yellow. And also you don't want to add too much because, in this particular case, because you want your eggs to look a little yellow and not so much orange, which the turmeric will, if you add enough, it will make it orange. So yeah, so it adds that additional, it adds the additional nutritional value to it. And then, of course, your salt and pepper. So, yeah, and you know what? Surprisingly, oh, that's okay. Surprisingly, it does taste like eggs because, you know, eggs, I mean, unless you're eating a fried egg or something, you know, where the yolk is very prominent tasting, you know, once you do scrambled, they do, if you mix a little, you know, like traditionally people would mix some cream or something like that in with the scrambled eggs, and then it would bring out the flavor, or much, make it more flavorful. But basically, I mean, I've tasted a lot of scrambled eggs that tasted like, you know, this. So, so it does taste like scrambled eggs, surprisingly. Okay, we forgot the Celtic sea salt, and there we go. Okay, so we're just going to let that warm up a little bit, and we're going to move on to our next recipe. Hey, Jennifer, hi, happy to see you. Okay, so we're going to make like a, let's see, what do we do first? We're going to do the dry first, or are we going to do the beautiful vegetables first? I think we'll do the dry first and set it aside. So we want 2 cups. This is going to be like a veggie, actually it's kind of going to be like a veggie scone. So we're going to do 2 cups of gluten-free flour. And this is Bob's Red Mill gluten-free flour, and it looks like I've got exactly 2 cups here, so might as well just do it like that. I don't usually measure, and that's what happens is I don't need to most of the time. Hard to say, not all the time, but most of the time. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of coconut sugar to this too. You don't want the scones very sweet in this case, so we're just adding a teensy bit of, what's that say? An eighth of a cup of coconut sugar. So you can do many things with this. Okay, let me carry on with the dry ingredients. We're going to do the baking powder, and it's going to be like a level tablespoon, and again the sea salt. I'm going to add a little bit of that to it, and okay, so the other things will be, which I'm not going to add quite yet, would be, of course, the flaxseed. We started with this, and yeah, the scone recipe is really good. This is my pretty much basic scone recipe, which we've done, oh my gosh, all kinds of fruit scones and all kinds of things, and they turn out like, you know, it's shocking for me. They turn out perfect every time. Very shocking. Okay, and then we're going to add coconut oil, and we're going to add some almond milk. But in the meantime, what I want to do is we'll set this aside here and here, and we will get the rest of our organic veggies put together to put in this. Okay, so with my glasses, where are the holes? Oh my God, you know, I still cannot, as many glasses that I have, prescription and otherwise, I still, you know, I don't know, I still can't see. Anyways, okay, so while I'm doing this, I have to tell you guys, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. It's getting warm. I just want to heat this up a bit, and you can see how beautiful yellow these eggs are getting. These tofu eggs are getting. Okay, I'm going to turn that off because I'm going to show you something else in a minute with this. I didn't mix that turmeric very well, but it's okay. Okay, looks like, kind of like bacon and eggs. Okay, so back to this. So I have to tell you guys, and I did mention it yesterday, but I'll mention it again today. Hey, Kathy, hi. Nice to see you. I'm going to miss you guys from like tomorrow until the next Wednesday. So unfortunately, I'm going to be taking a week-long, it's not unfortunate, it's really great, but unfortunately I won't be here with you until next Wednesday again, because I'm taking an intensive, or doing a intensive research with a group of herbalists on the worldwide information about what's happening with the COVID. And because the symptoms are all over the place. Like, the symptoms are just, you know, changing really by the minute. And so there are many, many different herbal protocols, you know, as well as supplements, you know, your vitamins, minerals, and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, so they're finding a lot of, I think it's pretty common knowledge that it has to do with being a blood issue. You know, as much as respiratory, and sometimes if not more. And so first it was like the kids were, and I'm talking anyone between 20 and 30 as a kid to me, were getting the blood issues more affected, and, you know, older people having more, you know, it all depends on what you have, what your genetics are. So if you have some sort of a health condition, of course, that's going to be your weak area. And so, you know, so any health situation is going to promote the possibility of that health issue reappearing, or, you know, manifesting symptoms. Again, this is easier to do if you're standing up. I know it's hard. It's hard for me. So there we go. Oh, come on, I can do it. So yeah, so I'm very excited to be going on this research team, and understanding the different protocols, because apparently, depending on the person, again, depending on your immune system and your everything, how your health is, which is why I keep going on and on and on and on. About the fermented foods being so important, but because your gut health is your immune system health, and it's super relevant in your immune system response, right? So I'm going to put that there. And so what was I going to say on that? Oh yeah, so the long-term effects of this, oh, isn't that interesting? Wow. I washed my kale, and this guy survived, so he's going over here. I'm starting to get a little bit of a problem with the aphids, and I did rinse them off, but sometimes those little guys just stick like glue. Anyways, okay, so kale. Okay, kale has vitamin K. It's one of the most nutrient-dense green things you can eat that's on the planet. Super good for you. I have been blessed many times from my good friends with kale from their garden when they had an overabundance. And when that happens, and thank you very much for the donation of the kale. When that happens, what you can do is you can dehydrate it, you can freeze it as is and just pull it out and dump it into a smoothie. You can dehydrate it, you can do all kinds of things with kale. When it's dehydrated or frozen or however you've kept it, you can not just put it in a smoothie, but you can put it into soups, you know, all that kind of thing. Soup, stews, all that stuff. So I'm just kind of folding it, and kind of what we want is it to be fairly finely chopped. Okay, so your kale is one of the most nutrient-dense things on the planet. Now, this is another thing you can do with the kale is, oh no, my battery power is only 15%. Hopefully we'll make it. I think we will. Okay, so kale, yes. You can take your kale and you can make a broth with it. Just take the whole leaves and make a broth, and it will be a nutrient-dense broth. Okay, so a lot of this information with the COVID stuff symptoms is that broths are really B-R-O-T-H. Broths are really, really important because a lot of times people don't feel like eating, apparently, and or from the people I've spoken to. You don't want to eat, you don't have any energy, you just don't want to do anything, and that's if you're not coughing a lot, tons. So the broths are really important. So you can do a veggie broth. A lot of people that aren't plant-based are doing bone broths, and making those and putting them in the freezer and freezing it for when you don't feel like anything, because if you put these leaves in you know, and you can put them in whole and make a broth like a veggie broth or any other kind of broth, especially with the kale, and these are collards, the nutritional value, it's like having a blood transfusion, really. It's just, you know, it's a fast, quick source of energy and nutrition, and you don't really have to digest it or chew it, so to speak. You know, you don't have to chew it, so it's not hard to absorb. And if you don't feel like eating, it's easy to get the broth down. You know, I mean, worst case scenario for a lot of people that aren't plant-based, make sure you've got chicken noodle soup, you know, or something, broth, veggie broth. If you can't make it yourself, at least make sure that you have some in the house, because apparently that is like gold. But for the people that want to make it, yeah, you should. You should and you could. I don't like telling people they should do anything, but just in case, because there's so many different symptoms. So, and you know, anywhere from mild flu-like to like, you know, deathly ill. Okay, so anyway, I'm very excited to be taking this course on many other helpful information. I was going to put some zucchini in here, but anyways, you can put zucchini in if you want. Okay, so we got broccoli. Yeah, so helpful information on what to do based on the symptoms, and each symptom for each person, many are similar, but some are different, and so that's going to be really exciting. So I'll be happy to come back next Wednesday with all of the new information and new protocols and a deeper understanding of what is going on here. Super important, so I'm excited about that, to understand the, you know, because they're kind of getting down to where there's been enough people, obviously, that have had it, that that they're figuring out, you know, and tracking what's working and what isn't based on the symptoms, because everyone's going to be different, you know. A lot is similar, but again, it depends on your own genetics and your own immune system and stuff like that. Okay, so what we're going to do is what are we going to do? Oh, Oh, I left my thing. I left my little thing, my new toy. I'm going to have to go get it. Okay, so we are going to add the coconut oil. And so we need 6 tablespoons. 6 tablespoons, you guys. And I'm going to roughly, I'm going to move this over a little so you can see what's going on here. So I don't throw things on the floor too much. Okay, so 1. Okay, we're going to add it up. Come on. Really? Oh my God. Okay, so that's like almost 2. Well, I mean, I've had my hands and everything else. I guess I can do that. I'm just going to wing it. Okay. 3. 4-ish. Okay, it's seriously sticking. I guess it's because weather's getting colder. I'll use my baking soda spoon. Okay, that looks like 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd say 1 more. And that's the nice thing about this recipe. It's very forgiving. Like, it's just super awesomely forgiving. Okay, maybe it might not be that forgiving. Sorry. Oh God, but that's how we roll around here. It's like a little of this, a little of that. I think I'll save that coconut oil. And coconut oil is very, very good for you. Okay, so we're going to add the chia seeds. Okay, so this is in place of the egg. And use that too. And again, I didn't measure that exactly. And then we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of almond milk, which I completely forgot to bring a measuring cup. And I need my scone cutter anyways. So just hang on a second here and make sure that's off. That feels like it's on. Hang on. And we're going to grab always seem to forget something. Okay, so we're going to grab the scone helper outer here. This is 3/4 of a cup. Okay, awesome. So what we can do, I'm going to squish this a bit with this first because I really want to get the coconut milk mixed in. The coconut oil mixed in. And so I'm going to use this thing here, which is super awesome. And that'll just blend in the coconut oil and break it down so that it's blended in here. Okay, so now that I've added all this stuff, you can kind of, can you see okay? I think you can see okay. Go like that. Okay, so I have to put pressure on it. It all depends on how warm your house is and how warm your coconut oil is too. And, okay, so what we're going to do is add our vegetables. So anyway, my plan is for this breakfast thing here, breakfast scones, is you can, I'm obviously really wanting to make this as healthy as possible. And so we're going to add the vegetables here, and we'll see how far we get, because I need enough. I can't have too many vegetables with very little flour, otherwise it won't hang together. But I do want to get as many vegetables as I possibly can in here because that's what's going to make it so healthy. The other thing you can do here, well, it looks like it's handling that okay. I can put some more broccoli and kale and stuff in there. So what you can do is you can crumble this up, the bacon up, and add the tofu and the bacon if you want it to taste a little bit more like a traditional breakfast, right? Bacon and egg breakfast. So the other thing we did yesterday too, which would be really yummy, is we did the breakfast muffins yesterday, and we added the Dia cheese egg. The Dia cheese egg. The Dia cheese, so that it would taste kind of cheesy in the muffins. So that was really good too. So if you wanted to, yeah, I know. Well, they do kind of hold together with too much fruit or too much whatever, and it looks like it's going to take it. It looks like it'll handle all the carrots, all the broccoli, all the kale, and all the collards. So that's awesome. And yeah, so what I'm going to do in this particular case, because I have made this to show you, is I'm going to do a half and half. I'll do half without this and then half with. So seeing as how we're just going to get down and dirty and ucky with all of the preparation, I'm just going to pull this out without getting, this is all going to go together anyway. So you could just break this up. You could cut it up. You could cut it up. That's a good idea. Oh my God. Okay. Good thing you guys are used to me. I don't know. A few people have asked me. Well, they haven't asked me, but they've said, I could never do what you do. I'm like, yeah, you could. You know, it's just fun. I know I'm funny, and this is not at all professional. But we do share a few things, so we do learn a few things, and it's super fun. So, okay, what I'm going to do now is I want to take some of this out and have it just as regular. So we're going to, super simple, super easy. We're just going to put it on here. And, you know, to note that you do need to flatten them out a bit, because if they're too thick, it does cook inconsistently and is a little bit, well, you know, because it's gluten-free flour, it's not really doughy in the middle, but it's soft and not as pleasant. So, yeah, so you want to make sure that there's something like an inch, you know, thick probably would be the best. So I'm going to make these, and this is really good. You can keep these in the fridge, you can freeze them, you can take them for snacks. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot to add the seasoning. Oh God. Okay, you guys get me going all the time. All right, so let's just, oh my God, okay. Oh, I'm so busy talking. Okay, it's a good thing that that nobody cares. Okay, hang on. I was just thinking of the spices. Okay, we definitely need garlic. Okay. Definitely, this is a minced, or not minced, this is a granulated garlic. It's pure garlic. There's no salt in it. And I like lots. Okay, so we did put pepper in the eggs, but we didn't in here. I'm going to add cayenne. Cayenne will be good, make it nice and spicy. And we are going to add a fair amount of the Celtic sea salt, because the Celtic sea salt is mostly mineral based, and so it doesn't taste very salty. So you usually need more, you know, to be able to get that flavor. The other thing you could do, you know, if you want, is to add the turmeric if you want to as well. And so I'm going to add the black pepper, because whenever you add turmeric, you need to add black pepper to activate it. And some say that you need to add oil as well to help activate it. I don't know that for a fact. I haven't read enough research on that, but I mean, you know, if you're into oil, then it wouldn't hurt. So I'm going to add a little bit of turmeric to it too. I mean, why not? For the anti-inflammatory and the curcumin. Okay, so that's going to taste like garlic, salt and pepper, cayenne, and vegetables. I think that's good. I think that's good. Okay, so we're going to do this again. Try and mix it really well. I drive you guys crazy. Oh, well, that's interesting. Yeah, it's a good thing I use gluten-free flour, because if I use regular flour and I overmixed as much as I'm overmixing, it would be tough. And that's news to me, because I'm not a baker at all. I know nothing about baking. I'm pretty good at muffins and fairly good at cookies. Baking has not been my thing. I'm usually into fast, healthy foods with lots of vegetables, and you know, either raw or stir fry-ish or whatever. I'm not a baker at all, so I would not. I kind of wondered about that, because I think I've had a couple of experiments where the where it came out really tough and doughy, and I didn't know why, and I couldn't be bothered to look it up, to be honest. But that's good to know, and maybe I haven't had that problem too much, because I do usually use gluten-free flour. Okay, so where's our measuring, our lack of? Anyways, these things would be really good, super healthy for breakfast. Good to, I mean, it's going to be like a scone, right? So you don't need to refrigerate it. You can just throw it in your bag and, just take it with you. And if you wanted, if you really wanted to, you could add, coconut milk or, coconut oil or something like that if you wanted to. Like on top, because it already has it in it. And, okay, I'm going to use the rest of this with the little fake bacon and eggs. Okay, so I'll add this to it, and then we'll mix it again. So it will be even more mixed. And oh my God, you guys, it's so much fun for you to hang out with me and for us to experiment and have fun with food, healthy food. Okay, all right, so this one's going to taste more like bacon and eggs in it. So this will be more breakfasty. So whatever you want to do with that tofu recipe, like I say, I don't use that stuff very often. But if I had company, and I wanted to serve them something that seems kind of like a normal traditional breakfast, I would use that. Okay, so here we go with the bacon and eggers. They look really cute. Oh, the other thing you could add, I didn't, and it doesn't really matter. But if you wanted more bacon flavor, this Better Than Bacon is really, really bacony. So, so you could add that to this as well, if you wanted it even more bacon. I'll move the handle so you can see. So, this is like too much scone. Okay, so we're gonna make turn these into pancakes because I didn't make enough room. I didn't realize I'd have this much left. I don't remember the recipe. Oh, you know what? It's probably because I added all the vegetables and all the eggs and everything. But usually when we make my scone recipe, it all fits on one cookie sheet. But I guess because we are doing a lot of extra ingredients here, it's turning out bigger and better. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right, you guys. So, yeah. So that's it. So we have a few with that are going to kind of taste like bacon and eggs, and a few that are going to taste like really yummy vegetables. So that's it. Yes, you could sprinkle it on top and press it in. I think that's good enough because I already added those, but you could do anything. You could do anything you want. Okay, well, I'm gonna miss you guys like crazy, but I will keep you informed, and I will, if I get a chance in between breaks and lunch and stuff like that, I will do some posts on Facebook, anything I find that's interesting, and then we'll be coming back next Wednesday with lots of new recipes and new ideas and lots of really great health information and health tips. So check out my Instagram for anybody new, Instagram, my YouTube, subscribe, share, all that stuff, and I will see you next Wednesday. Okay, take care. Have a really, really great week.